What's going on, guys? Welcome to your match preview of Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. It's a must-win game for the Reds. Yes, guys, on the back of a disappointing draw at home to Southampton, didn't capitalise on the points dropped by Chelsea and Leicester on the weekend. This is now a must-win for Manchester United. This is our cup final. Forget Wembley. Forget the FA Cup. Forget it. Forget Chelsea on Sunday. This is our cup final. If you wanted a must-win, this is the must-win. If you were looking for, you want to call it a six-pointer, Palace don't even need the points. We need it. We're so desperate for these points that I'm calling it a six-pointer. Because the gap between us and Chelsea, them beating Norwich, and now us playing after and having to go get the win, huge, huge. Now we know Leicester play before us on the same day, so we will know whether or not we can move into the top four after that game against Crystal Palace. Of course, we got the joint level on points with Leicester, 59 points. They've got a better goal difference by 3, I believe it is. So even if we were to match their score or their result against Sheffield United, it's possible we could overtake them on goal difference, but we'd have to give Crystal Palace a real hiding. I don't care about all of that. I just need a win. I just need a win because we need to get back to winning ways. That draw against Southampton could be very damaging. Now, at the start of this run, when we came back from lockdown, I knew that there's going to be some tough games. Spurs away from home, Sheffield United at home, Southampton at home. For me, those were the 3 games, barring Leicester the last of the season. I think that for me takes care of itself. Last day, you do what you need to do. But the run-up leading up to that, those 3 games for me were always going to be tough. Spurs game, we should have won, but we didn't. We were the better side, but we didn't win. Sheffield United, better side, we got the points. Good 3-0 victory. Southampton game, we weren't the better side, and we got the draw. So you could say it somehow balances it out between the Spurs game and this game, arguably. That being said, if you win that game and you lose this one, you have an extra point, so maybe not. But in terms of the unbeaten run, 8 games, it's balanced itself out in that regard. But being so close to the victory, 2-1 up with a minute to go, and to concede in the manner that we did, is so disappointing. So we have to get back to winning ways. And for me, the 3 points is so important. But what I'm really looking at is the mentality. Because if we drop points in this game, I have to question the mentality of these players. Are they ready to take us to the next level? Do they have not just the skills in terms of technical attributes, but the mental skills that is necessary to get us to the next level? Because when you get to that next level, or you're moving to that next level, you're always going to get setbacks. Yes, we're 18 games unbeaten, but we've had some draws in between. But the results after, or the games after, haven't had as much pressure as this one. Because we're so close to the end of the season that any slip-ups between now and the last game of the season against Leicester could be potentially fatal. Especially on the back of Man City being cleared and exonerated of all charges regarding FFP. So it's the top 4, it's not the top 5. The mentality for me will tell me whether or not, and I'll see that from early. I don't have to wait 90 minutes to see the mentality, to see whether or not this team is ready to really take us to the next level. Now, of course, we were unlucky in the last game in terms of injuries. Luke Shaw went off injured, and then Brandon Williams went off injured. So we ended the game with 10 men. Mason Greenwood, Oriol Romeu could have and probably should have been sent off for a pretty cynical challenge on Mason Greenwood, which we've heard that is left him with a swollen ankle, which could mean that he misses out. So we could have a few issues in terms of selection if Brandon Williams isn't able to fill in for Luke Shaw, or if neither of them, if Luke Shaw isn't available himself, then I expect Diogo Dalot to fill in. I know there's talk about Ethan Laird. I would not throw him into this pressure cooker. I really wouldn't. I don't think it's fair on him to go into a game of such magnitude in terms of importance for us and expect him to come out with flying colours. And we need really everyone to come out with flying colours, because they haven't. They didn't in the last game. We started slow against Aston Villa and we came through it in the end. But in the last game, we have multiple players who just weren't at their best or made individual errors. The midfield in total, Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, if we're giving them a score out of 10, they'll be lucky to get 10 scores combined. That's how bad they were. I'm not going to lie. They were very, very poor with everything. Their passing, their creativity, the energy. I mean, Bruno Fernandes did run around still, but the legs on Matic and Pogba, I mean, Matic don't really have the legs, but I think the games have maybe caught up with them. All these games at a short period of time, not much rest, no changes from Solskjaer. Maybe it caught up with them, but to have that many players off form or off their game on one night was unfortunate. Unfortunate, because it's not what you expect. You might get one or two, but to get one of your three, and especially the hub in the midfield, all three of them really not on their game, it wasn't good enough. So I'm expecting people to really step up and make themselves counted. Make themselves counted and prove that Man United and what Solskjaer's doing, we're going in the right direction. Prove that Man United deserve to be where us fans feel we deserve to be. So yeah, I expect, I'm going to predict that Diogo Dalot will come in at left back. I think Dan James could start on the right over Mason Greenwood, but I'm not sure I would start Dan James. The only thing you might get with Dan James is the ability to track back with, what's his name, Wilfred Zaha on that side, if Zaha plays on that side. Of course, he could play Zaha on the other side to attack Diogo Dalot, which would make more sense as opposed to going up one-on-one versus Wan-Bissaka. But he could also go with Lingard or Pereira on the right, who both have the ability to help out defensively. It does leave us short attacking-wise if Mason Greenwood doesn't start, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility. We've got the FA Cup on Sunday, and we've got a big game against West Ham next week, and of course the last game of the season against Leicester. Is he going to risk a player who isn't 100% in Greenwood, a young player as well, in this game? I'm unsure. So I think one of Lingard, Pereira, or Daniel James will start. I say probably one of Daniel James or Pereira. I would be surprised if Lingard start. He hasn't really even been in many of the squads, if we're going to be honest. Pereira, I think, has come on at least a few more times than he has when we've made substitutions. I think Lingard is on his way out. The word we're getting is that Pereira is likely to stay. I don't know why, but he's likely to stay. But yeah, in terms of the game, must-win game. And I back the boys. I do back the boys that they have the mentality. We're not 18 games unbeaten for no reason. It's not just a case of we're drawing our way to this record. We've been winning a lot of games. So in all competitions. So I do back the boys to get the victory against Crystal Palace. I'll go 2-0. Bring the confidence and bring the confidence back within the camp and within the fan base. If it has dissipated or disappeared in some cases, bring that confidence back and keep the march towards the top 4. As I said, it is in our hands. It's still in our hands. Get the win against Crystal Palace. Go into that Chelsea game on Sunday full of confidence. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping for. Let me know your thoughts, your comments below. Hit the like, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.